This was my camp. We are broken down and basically all but packed up. I just gotta put the battery box and the paddles and stuff on the pack. And we are about to finish up the morning here. Of course, world famous Gatewood Brown.
Quarter world famous.
Quarter world famous. This is, I mean, this guy, he's rock star.
It is day 2, and all of Pete's subscribers still have no clue who I am.
If you want to know who Gatewood Brown is, go to YouTube, look up, well, you're on YouTube. All right. So now that you're here, go to the kayak camping video that looks like Discovery Channel's best editor and photography crew made it. And that'll be his channel.
Yeah, we might be able to post a link like somewhere around.
Yeah, somewhere up in here.
Yeah.
But maybe over here.
Let me just say something for Pete subscribers. For all of you guys who watch his videos, he truly does have fun the entire time. I mean, we could be doing the most grueling hike after dark, up and down rocks and ladders and ropes, and Pete is still out there grinding, having a great time.
And that's what it's all about. It can always get worse, and you know, the secret to that is no matter how bad it gets, it will make a great story later. You just have to live the story. Christopher Dustino.
Good morning, Pedro.
How you feeling? Slept a little on the chilly side, I hear.
Slept a little on the chilly side, but I had a really good breakfast.
Oh yeah, with some English breakfast tea.
Yes, lots of energy.
Squirrel's looking good in his new paddle jacket.
Thanks, Pete, for the paddle jacket.
So yeah, so the plan for the day is we are going to go a little bit more. We're going to be at the top most elevation on this ridge. That'll be Callaway Peak. And we are basically here at Callaway Gap camping area. Got a little too dark, a little too quickly for us to continue on the trail last night. Squirrel found this awesome spot. We dove in here. As it turns out, when we woke up, I can see the platforms for Callaway Gap. We had 2 others reserved on the other side, but that didn't work out. So what we're going to do is go down to Shanty Springs, re-up on water because we're all black on water. I think Chris has a sip or 2 left. And then we're going to head up to Callaway Peak, see what the view is there. If there is any, it's still pretty socked in. And basically dive off this trail and dive into the unknown and look for the spring of Wilson Creek, the source where it basically comes out of the side of the mountain. And then the trip is actually beginning. Then we'll have a trip. But this was a fantastic campsite. So doing a trip like this, the pack sometimes is always a work in progress. I had a pretty good system when I left the home, but yesterday on the trail I identified some annoying things like my helmet slapping me in the back of the head on occasion, and my paddles were a little too tall. So I've kind of adjusted some of that and got things where I think they'll work a little better. So we are sitting on go. Let's go hit the trail. Day 2, it's go time. This is the decisive point of the trip. If we can make this next half day happen, the rest will be on schedule. That's a good way to put it. So basically our goal today in the next 4 hours, hopefully, is to be at Blue Ridge Parkway.
What? An hour?
4 hours.
Oh.
We're gonna be walking fast.
Chop.
When we finally leave the trail, we're gonna be dropping 2,000 feet in the first mile. trailless in some pretty rugged country, and that we're all kind of looking forward to it, all kind of anticipating what it might be like. And the sun's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll burn them off. Burn them off.
Let's roll. So we're on the trail down to Shanty Springs to get our water. Gatewood and Chris are back up at the trailhead up there. And look at this trail, guys. I don't know how well that's coming out, but that is fantastic. It's a pretty cool trail. It's like basically a dry stream bed almost. Hope we find one of these later today. Sometimes you have to reevaluate your plan. We got about 1/8 of a mile into that hike, and for the effort I was about to put into that, I would almost be at the trailhead at Wilson Creek, but then I would be back to nowhere. So we're black on water, but that's just too much. Way too steep for what I'm looking to do to get water. So we've been passing places in the trail where there's water. We've been passing rock formations with puddles of water. And I think the new plan is to just continue on. Hey, there's some water right there. There's some water. So we are taking the water out of this little puddle because we do not want to go to Shanty Springs. It just makes more sense. This is a pretty steep trail. We got enough hiking to do already. I don't need to add a half mile going down and a half mile going up of some pretty, almost four-legged scrabble. So save the legs, be smart. This water's going to taste just as good. Back to the boys here. Really pretty trail through here. We're approaching the summit of Callaway Peak. Top of the world in these parts. What do you think, boys?
Whew, trudging.
So we are at Watauga View on Callaway Peak. Blue sky behind us and blue sky around us, but we're still in the clouds. Oh yeah, we're getting some clearing. Pretty cool. So we're about to pack it off the mountain here. This kind of like the last majestic overlook that we expect to have. We may come into a couple more on the way down. Not really sure what we're gonna find. But top of the world, guys. How's it feel?
Fantastic. It feels
Revived.
like we've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Revived.
We have accomplished being able to start our trip.
Yeah.
Is essentially where we're at.
There's a good morning jolt.
Good morning.
Let go.
I'll just go 3, 2, 1, go. Grime it. 3, 2, 1, go.
In the turning.
Making the summit at Callaway Peak brought a small sense of accomplishment, but really, it was just the beginning of all we wanted to do here. A small hole in the clouds opened up and gave us a view into the Wilson Creek drainage. It was mesmerizing. A place you could sit and stare all day. A place where you can watch the clouds roll by and the time pass. But we had miles to cover. And not far off the east side of Callaway Peak, there was a special discovery for the crew.
But some poor soul crashed his plane here years ago. There's this part, and then right over here, there's part of the wing.
Oh, so it's like a little single-legged Cessna.
Yeah, just a little guy. And then there's the rest of the bodies around here somewhere.
Where's the body?
Oh, it's right up ahead, I think. You can see some more wing there. Not a great place to land a plane. crazy. There she is. That's where she stopped. We're enjoying some flat terrain. This might be the end of our flat terrain for quite some time today. We're on the Daniel Boone Trail now, and we're making good time on this one. All right, I'm trying to show you the map we're looking at the best I can with no glare. The little arrows where we're at, I've been recording our track. The red line is my proposed route, kind of weaving through the terrain. So I have slope shading on. The dark red areas are the very steep stuff, and we're going to try to kind of weave through that and then hook back. If you're looking at the screen now, it hooks back to the left, but we'll be walking, hooking back to the right, following the contour to the spring head of Wilson Creek.
And so we ate a granola bar at the Briar Patch campsite and celebrated the beginning of the adventure as we left the trail to find the Wilson Creek Spring.
Maps, compasses, and that way from here on out. And we're going to have a good time. So Gatewood looks like he wants to lead the way. I would go straight a little bit that way because we need to veer a little to the left. And there is no more trail, fellas. So far, so good. Not all on the map, boys and girls, and we expected a little bit of this. Literally too much fun here. Oh yeah. So according to the map, compass, pace count, all that good stuff, we are about 150, 200 yards from Wilson Creek at the max. I would err to the right. Wilson Creek, boys. Coming out of the rocks to the side of the mountain, guys. Wilson Creek. Doesn't look like much, but that's our path home. Clear as it can be.
It's the beginning of all of it.
So it is about 12:30, day 2. We found it, and we are super stoked about that. And we just filtered some water. We've been pounding some of that because we've been a little low. But what we're doing now is cooking lunch. And okay, no wonder it was a weird tasting beef stroganoff. We are actually eating chicken teriyaki for lunch.
Oh.
So that does make a difference. How you feeling, Chris?
Oh, a little hungry, but all in all, pretty good.
Nice way leading the trail into the creek here.
Yep.
Chris is our resident expert, biologist, geologist, environmental scientist.
I knew what getting to Wilson Creek meant lunch.
What had happened was we were working a terrain contour. It's supposed to be some flat stuff we can work on, but we'd still need to go down a little bit. We got hemmed in above by a little rock, so I tried to go down, and we ended up with about a 20-30 foot cliff. So as I'm coming back up, Chris didn't have to come down where I was, so he kind of took the lead there and brought us on in here. So worked out perfectly, and we found it at just the right place. That is phenomenal.
So after a well-deserved lunch, the boys and I ruck back up and start busting brush. We couldn't walk in the stream bed yet as it was too clogged with boulders and overhanging trees and bushes. So we walked down the east side of the bank, finding the best route possible.
So we are just admiring some of the new flora that we're seeing. There's a lot of May apples. You can see that big one right over there. And then also Solomon seal right there. Some stuff we don't see back home as much. So the terrain is picking up intensity, and the creek is picking up water. You can hear it now down below. It's turning into a viable creek versus a little trickle, and it's getting harder to follow, but we're needing to stay on it because if we leave it, we'll lose our ability to get back to it a little bit, if that makes sense. So hard going. You see the terrain we're in. Trailless creek. Squirrel leading the way for us. Got us about a 15-foot drop off there down to the creek. We can almost walk it. We just got to get down to it. Having fun now, huh? So we are just basically handrailing this creek off to the east or river left of the creek, maybe 10-15 yards, because it's still a little too thick to walk through, and the steepness of it renders it just to be a series of small waterfalls. You can see the channel is bouldering up, getting more and more pronounced, more and more water, so that the hiking is opening up for us a little bit, and that's a good thing. What do you say, Chris?
Ooh.
So you can see the scale of the place is opening up. The walking's getting a little more open as the guys descend there into the creek channel. It's big enough now we can walk the actual channel, so that's the new plan. Squirrel's leading the way, and he's doing a fantastic job. What are you hiking, baby? Little waterfalls trickling down through here. I wonder where the trout are going to start. Probably soon. All right, guys, we are here on the Tanawa Trail Bridge over the Wilson Creek. The creek is picking up steam fast. It's amazing that this was just a little crack in a rock up ahead. You can look this way. Mostly it's a bunch of little tiny waterfalls kind of sieving through the rock and the ground, you know, some of it's coming out from underneath, so not enough flow to really bring it over the rocks like a, you know, you would think a traditional creek would, but it's absolutely beautiful. And it's just getting bigger and better. And we're basically off the worst part of the mountain. I mean, if we had a milkshake right now, we'd all take a victory milkshake. Oh, sounds good, doesn't it?
What flavor, Pete?
Doesn't matter. Chocolate would be fine. All right, so wouldn't you know it, we've found our way to the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's just up above us here. Wilson Creek, Blue Ridge Parkway. This is the point of the trip where we all felt like, you know, if we can make it to here, the trip was going to be a success. And I wanted to be here at lunch on day 2. It is 2 o'clock. We already ate lunch. We're probably an hour behind my schedule, which, considering everything that happened yesterday, I'm thinking that's pretty good. We're happy. So we're just gonna keep bopping down this trail here. The next road we'll pass is 221, and then we'll get into the Forest Service roads, and we'll just keep on going. But right up above, the Blue Ridge Parkway. The worst is gonna be behind us as far as potential danger areas. There's still gonna be a whole bunch of bushwhacking, but I think it's gonna be a lot more manageable than some of the stuff up above. And I put a lot of effort into the route selection to get down off the mountain. A long time went into that, and I think it went about as good as you could expect it to ever go. I think it went better than I could have imagined it going, actually. I was hoping it would work, but
I can corroborate what Pete just said. As somebody who didn't do any mapping, Pete chose a really good route, and it surpassed expectations.
Sometimes your route works, and sometimes it doesn't. Wilson Creek down below us, probably 40, 50 feet. And we're on this little piece of terrain, kind of skipping all the jungle. Creek's almost big enough to walk, but we figured we'd take the easy as long as we could. So we're at the US 221 crossing. She's turning into something, boys. Now the creek is a little bit bigger, big enough to just kind of boulder hop down it. So we're gonna try to do it this way, as long as we can do it safely and make it make sense. Creek's definitely picked up in size. You can see the channel going out before us. You can see sky through the woods, so it's still gonna be some steep areas. But it's big enough now where we can kind of rock hop. And there's these side overflow channels that might offer some easy walking too. Absolutely stunning in here. Some of the best scenery I've seen in some time. And no signs of humans, which is the way we like it. Gorgeous up in here. It's good for your soul, folks. Gotta get out and get some actual wild outdoors. Get off that beaten trail. Do something people think you shouldn't do. Oh my goodness! Woo-hoo-hoo! Beautiful little waterfall. Kind of gearing up. I think what we're gonna do is walk down this little rim here into those boulders, and then we can get around it from there. Just gotta be real careful in places like this. Yeah. Woo! We'll drop some elevation in here quick. That's about 50 feet. We got tons of these overhanging rocks and deep pools over here. But I just found a pretty sweet underwater cave. You do not want to kayak into that. That would be a negative experience. Oh yeah, I just know it's gonna be cold! I'm about to die of heat exposure. Oh. That's cold, boys! So I'm at about a 25, 30 foot cliff here down below, and over there on the other side of the creek are rocks about as big as a small house. So I'm not sure how we're gonna get around this one. This right here is a no-go, and to my left, likely a no-go. I'm gonna scout this over here on the other side of this rock, see if I can get down to the channel. If not, I might go back and see if I can get in between the... It's all part of the fun. I'm getting back down to the water now. Oh wow, that is beautiful. That's really pretty. Hey, Gatewood! Hello there! We're getting down it. It's not really fast hiking, but we're getting down it. This part looks a little sketchy. Might be the fast ride into the drink. Feels pretty good so far. Oh yeah. Good route, Chris. Our goal is to not actually jump. I want to be able to step from rock to rock. If you start taking routes that require actual jumping, sooner or later you're going to mess up. They're going to be injured. Woo. We are hours into this thing. It's endless beauty. You just want to film everything you see, but you can't. You just got to keep moving. Simply amazing in here. So we are on Service Road 1514, also known as Edgemont Road. That's looking up the creek channel. Where we come from, feeling it. Look at them over there, they're feeling it. So this is a welcome reprieve. Gatewood is a fan now of a road. Yeah. So we've got a few hundred yards of road in. We're kind of cheating a little bit. And I'm not sure if it's actually even gonna help. But it feels good to walk on a road. It does. But we're already about 50 feet above the creek and it's dropping quickly. And we're actually about to go up. You can see it down there. But what we're skipping looks like some good stuff to skip. First chance we get, we're gonna get back down on it, I reckon. And I hope we don't have to walk back up this road to do it. You don't, yeah, just take it. Go! You can actually do it right there. So we have just been in the process of boxing a canyon section in there. It's pretty gorged out. About twice as steep on both sides as we have gone through on the creek yet. And just making a good judgment call. We've boxed it high and are going around. We're on a spur now leading back down. The gorge walls are on the right and left just above us here, upstream. Squirrels out front. We're running south off the compass. to the creek, and I think we're right back on it here. We can hear it. Yeah, you got it. Back to bushwhacking a little bit. Trying to ride this little finger down to the water. It's getting steep on both sides of us, but it's really our only opportunity to get back between the super steep. You can see it falling off to our left, and it also does that on our right, and we're taking this straight off, and I think we are almost home free. What do you think, Gatewood?
Oh, feels good to make miles.
Coming back on it now. All right, as you can see, we're back at the river. Looks like we get to dive on in and get wet right off the bat. We can walk it straight across there, maybe. So we just had a much appreciated and I guess much needed dip again in the creek at a little waterfall slide. Now we're gonna push on. We got a quarter of a mile to the Second Forest Road, which is 902, I believe, Roseboro Road. And from there, it's gonna flatten out substantially in the drainage. And I think we'll really be able to step it up and get some miles under our belt. So everybody's looking for that. Onward. All right, so we just got good news. I see the bridge, Forest Service Road 192. That signifies a big deal for us. Man, what a hike this has been. It's been one heck of an adventure so far. And we're really just beginning. Good news, we have picked up the Wilson Creek Trail. So now we no longer have to rock hop all the way down this thing. Hiking's gonna be a lot better. And the next order of business is to find a campsite for the night. And it's been a long, hard day. It's about 7 o'clock. We hadn't stopped moving since we woke up. And we put some hard miles down today.
Today's hike had taken a toll on the team. They were starting to slow down. They were starting to get quiet. I saw it on the faces and in the way they moved. It was time for camp.
We're thinking we just found home for the night. Works for me. That was a long, hard day. A hiking right there. Look at the boys' faces. Chris and Gatewood ready for some eating.
Yes, sir.
Feast it.
Whoa.
This Texas Flatlander's not bad in the mountains. How you feeling, Chris? Got a little dinner in you?
Much better. After a 10-hour ruck, food goes a long way, a shower. It was quite an adventure. Quite
Yep.
an adventure.
Oh yeah.
Heck of a ruck.
I'm sitting here with Squirrel. He's not feeling the best.
The team was ground down from the grueling hike. But there was no quit. We had woken up this morning with the score to settle. We were going to beat the mountain that beat Greg. We were tired. We had just descended 4,000 feet in elevation. and we had climbed, clawed, scrapped, and swam our way through this rugged environment. But we had beaten that mountain. Tomorrow, we would turn our eyes to the river. But tonight, we were stuck somewhere between the two. And all we really wanted was to get some sleep.